let me take you on a little history lesson here. So Cody Garbrandt goes on a complete tear, comes into the UFC, still going on a complete tear. He destroys my best friend Dominic Cruz. He takes his title away from him. And now here's a big cutoff point. Here's a little plot twist for you. He loses his next 3 fights via knockout. What happened? You beat the best of all time, and then you just go on a 3 fight losing streak. And I mean, you could definitely say it's his style. That's the problem. That's what it is. But now he comes back. He reinvents himself. He's this patient guy. He's a technical guy, and he comes back and he fights Rafael Assunção, very dangerous guy, and he knocks him out. And I think it was the second round, right? The last second of the second round.
Yeah.
He knocks him out with a left, or it was a right hook, I believe, off of the cage, off of a slip. The fastest hook I've ever seen in my life, and he dropped him as the bell was ringing. His Rafael Assunção's corpse was just falling to the ground,
Oh.
and Cody just walked away. He just
Dude,
walked
it
away
was one of the
like Mark Hunt.
craziest things I've ever seen. One of the craziest KOs of all time. But I mean, it is impossible not to tell. Cody Garbrandt last night, that was a new person. I've never seen that guy before. Like, that was a new person in the skin of Cody Garbrandt. Like, that was a brand new guy with a new beard and new hair. And I think a new back tat too. Is that
I
back
think
tat?
yeah, I believe it is new. I love the new look though. I think he should keep the long
Has
hair.
he always
He
had that
looks.
back tat? I really don't know.
I don't think so. But
It's
I mean, he is covered in tattoos,
it's
so it would be hard to
sick.
know.
It's a
It is
sick
nice.
back tattoo. But
Yeah.
anyway, um, dude, the guy is brand new. And it's hard not to talk about the fact that he isn't full training full time at Alpha Male anymore. He went and trained with Mark Henry, who's one of the best coaches in the game, and now he is a much different individual. I mean, I'm not even just talking fighting style. Listen to him talk. He's so different. I mean, it's crazy how much change has occurred within that man. Um, he is so much more well spoken. He's very like collected all the time. He doesn't seem angry. He doesn't seem emotional. He's very serene in both his out of cage self and his in cage. I mean, he's measured, he's patient, he is picking his shots deliberately. It's so crazy to see the transfer. This is one of the greatest transformations I've ever seen in a UFC fighter. I it's it's
I agree. I
it's
would. It's the.
weird, man.
It
It's
is.
so weird. And I'm not gonna lie, he does still belong to the team at Alpha Male. Like he's not complete. He's not gone from Alpha Male. He I think he split his camp. I think he did the first half at Alpha Male and the second half with Mark Henry. It could be the other way around, but I think that's correct. Um, and I'm not gonna lie, I think Alpha Male is like I have no real evidence to support this other than my own personal feeling that I get when I look at that team. It feels to me like a very toxic environment and this very like pack mentality, kind of high school drama. It's weird. I don't like the alpha male really. It's this really weird like yeah, like high school drama. It's
I feel
it's a
like the name says it all. Team Alpha Male.
it's
I'm.
kind of
You know.
cringy, right?
Yeah, I feel like a mature person or a mature coach or gym owner wouldn't put that as their name. I mean, I don't know.
it
Who knows
it
how it works
feels
over
a
there on the
little
West Coast?
like oh, it's a bunch of douchebags running around talking shit on each other. Who could puff their chest out the most? Like this, I don't know. I don't. I think that there's something there. There
You did
is
a great job of describing it, though. It is basically a high school mentality. It's crazy.
Dude,
It's
if you go back and listen to JRE with Cody Garbrandt and Uriah Faber, the way they talk about Dillashaw and like all the drama that ensued, it's so ugh. You listen to it and you're like, these are grown men like talking
yeah.
like this. It's so like I don't like this. This is come on, guys. Like this is and I I think a lot of that is Uriah Faber, to be honest. I think Uriah Faber is the root of a lot of that, like, childish antics that occur within that gym. Um, and it's just awesome to see Cody a change man. You have to remember Cody was young when he was like 25 years old when he became champ. Something like a very young champion. I think a little, not only was he green, yeah, like he was just green, like he was definitely a force to be reckoned with, no doubt. I mean, you have to be to beat someone like Dominic Cruz, but there was something not right, not together with his game, and we saw that. We saw the de-evolution of his game. Uh, just this brash, very um, thrown together kind of fighting style where he seemed to just be swinging and hoping something land, like throwing shit at the wall and hoping something sticks, that kind of thing. Um, it's not that anymore. It is not even close to that, and it paid off with a brilliant knockout, a brilliant performance, um, a performance of the night bonus, and just a new um, a new force to be reckoned with in Cody Garbrandt. This is not the guy that went on a 3-fight losing streak, and I will even argue this is not the guy that won the championship from Dominic Cruz. This is something better. I really believe that. And you might say, "Well, what are you talking about? He beat Dominic Cruz. He got the championship. How can you say he knocks out Rafael Sunsao and he's suddenly I just it's the vibe I get off him. I love looking at fighters and reading like their body language and the way they're speaking and everything, and I think it tells so much about them. I get that they're not necessarily being like their true selves when they're in front of the camera and doing interviews and all that, but it's hard not to look at Cody Garbrandt and say that is the same fighter of old. This is just a new guy, and he's scary, and he's a massive threat at 135.
Back to what you were saying about Team Alpha Male, I feel like most of the fighters that have left Team Alpha Male or have partially left Team Alpha Male, like Cody Garbrandt's doing here, I feel like their careers have just gone a lot better. Don't wouldn't you think so?
You mean like with
I
TJ?
Yeah, with TJ leaving, with Dominic leaving, and now with Cody partially leaving, every time a fighter leaves from there, it seems like they do far better
Yeah, I
than when
mean,
they were at that
T
gym.
TJ had the EPO stuff, but they
Yeah,
said he was
that's
using that back at Alpha Male. Like Cody said he was using shit back at Alpha Male too. So,
yeah. Nobody listened to him when he was trying to tell everyone, and look at that.
well, come on, Cody is a hard guy the
Yeah,
Cody back then was a hard, he was someone that he spoke and you were like, okay, buddy, settle down, like like Michael Bisping, like, all right, buddy, yeah, whatever you say, you were just like, all right, okay,
yeah.
whatever you say. But
But
now,
yeah,
I mean, it's different. But yeah, I think you're right. I think we see an upswing in people that leave Alpha Male.
Cody's just a new animal. He used to fight like every time he would take damage, he would just become more and more reckless to the point where he just gets knocked out for those 3 fights. And I mean, 2 of those were against Dillashaw and then Pedro Munoz. So it's not like the competition's like he's not fighting cans per se.
Hmm.
Um, but still, that fighting style, it's hard to come back from that. How do you stop fighting emotionally? Is that seems like an adrenaline based response, you know what I mean? So for him to go and completely change his fighting style like that, I got to give him credit. That's a mentally difficult task to do. Like I
Yeah.
feel like his new fighting style is pretty much half mental, half physical, or maybe even all mental. I don't know how he would gauge that.
I
But
I
if like you were saying, if you watched him fight those last 3 fights and you watched him fight Rafael Sunsao, it's a different guy,
especially the
totally different guy.
Munoz fight.
Yes,
The Munoz fight
he.
is a perfect example of how far he fell for that period of time.
I like the way he fought a Sunsao too. He pretty much did what he did to Dominic. Not quite. He just backed up the whole time and then counter struck and But I like the way he incorporated leg kicks. He really slowed down Rafael.
Yeah.
He kicked that leg so many times, and then he
Mhm.
would get you so used to the leg kicks, and then his speed is unmatched. Who is as fast as him besides some of the flyweights? Cody Garbrandt has the power of a featherweight, but the speed of a lightweight. I think that he's got a bright future ahead of him if he stays to this game plan. Now, who knows what's going to go on after this? I think he'll stay the way he is now, because I mean, you saw his attitude before the fight, during the fight, after the fight, 100% calm.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if you told me he smoked a pound of weed before this fight and smoked during the fight. He was so relaxed. How do you go and knock someone out like that, get arguably knockout of the year, and just walk away and you didn't even celebrate? I mean, obviously he did a little bit of celebrating with his coaches, but not like he used to. It wasn't jumping on the side of the cage and screaming and
It's
stuff
a
like that.
different guy.
He's
You know,
I love it.
he's a father now too.
Yeah,
That
maybe fatherhood has humbled him. It's
yeah.
Dad Garbrandt is
Dad
a force to be
Garbrandt.
reckoned with. Yeah,
But yeah, and I think you do have to get I don't want to put it all on this, but I think you do have to give a lot of credit to the coaching. I think coaching is just so integral to a fighter's just perception and style of fighting changing. We see it with Trevor Whitman and Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje used to be the same kind of way, fighting a little recklessly, like going like 1 for 1. Seeing it was basically like you, you ever see on YouTube those like slapping challenge things, like the
yes.
professional slappers where they stand there and they take a slap and then they give a slap. That's kind of how Justin used to fight, like kind of just I'll take it, I'll take one, but I'll give you one back and see if I can do it harder. And I think Cody was a little bit the same way. It just didn't
Do you
work out
think
for him.
do you think that the win over Dominic Cruz got to his head?
Yeah,
Beating
it
beating
had
a
to.
legend like that.
It had to. I mean, how do you not beat Dominic Cruz and then become bantamweight champ and not think like you're just the shit all around? Like, I mean, it's impossible. Any young guy like Cody who knocks out or not knocks out, but like just convincingly beats a legend and becomes a champion. It's I mean, you're gonna be just become a little, reckless. Um, there's something to be said about these young guys who become champions very young. Like same with John.
Yeah,
John's fighting style it always remained very consistent, but look at his out of the cage behavior. Became very
abysmal.
reckless. Yeah, abysmal. um,
But
and,
where do you think he goes from here?
oh man,
A lot of people were saying he should fight Sean O'Malley, and I was confused about that because Cody Garbrandt just beat the number 5 guy, and Sean O'Malley hasn't even fought a ranked opponent yet. I
Cody
saw that
also
was
said he sees no parallels with him and Sean, and I kind of agree because he
I
he
would too.
basically said Sean is 25 years old, unranked. When I was 25, I was champ. Hard to
He's
argue
got
with.
a point.
Hard
Yeah,
to argue with, you know.
he's not wrong.
Yeah, I don't think I necessarily want to see him fight Sean O'Malley. Sean is great. I love Sean. But I think Cody. Uh, I think you got to give him. So we have the Peter Yan fight coming up for the title. Who the hell is Peter Yan fighting again?
Jose Aldo,
Oh right. Okay.
not Marlon.
So weird, man.
To be fair, I thought Jose beat Marlon, and I think Dana White did too. So maybe he just
Maybe
pretended like
maybe that
Jose won.
maybe there's your fight. Marlon and Cody.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a dangerous
You
fight,
do
of course,
here,
but I
here
think that's the one to make.
here's what you do. You do Marlon and Cody. Oh, hang on, Sons of Anarchy are here. Gotta wait.
Jax, go
Old
away.
Jack Steller, get out of here. Um,
Aw,
you do Cody and Marlon. You do Peter and Jose. See who wins that. The winner, the champion, fights Aljo Sterling for the title. Winner of that fights the winner of Marlon Cody.
perfect.